Hello everybody, welcome to Erndale's. We're just about to have a great big blizzard here in Manitoba where I live, and so I decided to make some comfort food. So today I'm going to make a great big stock pot full of vegetable soup, and then I might make some muffins for later on. I'm in the mood to cook. I don't know why, but I am. So I'm going to take you along with me, and let's make some soup. So for the ingredients for this soup that we're going to make today, we're going to need cabbage. You can use a half of a cabbage or a whole head of cabbage, however you want. A bunch of scallions or green onions, 6, 7 carrots, a couple of onions, some celery. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sticks of celery, and a bell pepper, as well as a large can of tomato juice, a couple of cans of green beans, only because I don't have any fresh ones, and crushed tomatoes, some OXO, and a package of onion soup mix. And then you're going to also need your stock pot or your whatever you're going to cook it in. So I think we need to get chopping. So a lot of chopping. And I know my block is glass, so it makes quite a bit of noise. I've chopped up a half of the cabbage, and I'm thinking that, well, it's filled my little stock pot half full, so that might be enough, but I'll see. I'll do the other vegetables first, and then I'll see how much room I got left. I don't put them in any particular order. It's soup. It's all going to get stirred together anyway. That squawking you hear in the back, that's Chip, my conure. He loves noise of any kind. So this storm that we're supposed to be getting, it's actually, it's been upgraded to a blizzard. It was just a storm watch before, but now it's been upgraded to a blizzard. It's supposed to start tonight and last for 3 days. And of course, you know, they're predicting how much snow different areas of the province are going to get. Our little area here is supposed to get, well, they're predicting that we will have 50 to 60 centimeters of snow by the end of Friday. And we have no snow left. If you watched my video the other day, where I went around the garden, you'll see that we hardly had any snow there. And certainly it's all melted since then. So we're sort of going backwards instead of forwards as far as spring is concerned. But it's not uncommon for us to have snow in April, and it's not uncommon for us to have snowstorms in April. So, but this is a lot. I mean, even for us, 60 centimeters is a lot of snow. I look at it as it's moisture, which we desperately need, but I don't know. Still a lot. So I'm going to continue chopping all these vegetables up, and then we'll put the soup together. Okay, so I've chopped all the vegetables. You can see this is all just vegetables. I've put nothing else in, and it's almost to the top of this little Dutch oven that I have. So now I'm going to add in some of the dry stuff. I have 2 little packets of OXO chicken soup mix. You can use any kind of mix that you want, chicken, beef, whatever. I just happen to have the chicken, so that's what I'm going to use. And I'm going to put in the package of onion soup mix, dry onion soup mix, you know, the Lipton stuff that you can make. And then I'm going to add in the big can of crushed tomatoes. Now, as these vegetables cook, of course, they will make more juice. They'll as they break down, they will produce more liquid. So I'm not going to add any more liquid except for this tomato juice right now. And you didn't see what I just did, but I picked up the can and I spilled a lot of it on the floor, which is really lovely. And I'm going to give it a little bit of a stir right now, just to kind of get the tomato juice to go down. But I'm not worried about it. It's pretty full of vegetables. I cut my vegetables quite chunky because we like our soup chunky. But you can chop yours as fine as you want. I might add a little bit of water to this because it is quite, but I'm not going to add a lot because, like I say, once the vegetables start to cook, they're going to create some more liquid. And on top of that, I'm going to put some pepper. I'm not going to add salt right now. I'm going to wait. And I'll add the salt a little bit later. Once this starts to cook, I will see how much salt it needs. Well, maybe I'll put a little bit of salt right now. But again, there's quite a bit of salt in the tomato juice. There's salt in the OXO. There's salt in the onion soup mix. So I'm going to add a tiny little bit of water, just to get it started. Maybe a little bit more than that. That'll be enough. And I'm going to put this on low and just let it cook. And we will come back and check it out in a little while. And I only used the half of head of cabbage, so I still have another half left for something else. So we'll come back in a little while and see how this is doing. All right, let's see how this is doing. Oh, looking good. I'm just going to give it a little stir. It's looking lovely. So I'm just going to let this cook all afternoon, and now I think we'll make some zucchini muffins. Okay, I'm back. We're going to do some zucchini muffins now. This is I've had this recipe for years and years and years. If I can find the link to it, I'll put it in the description below. But I'll see if I can. I'm pretty sure I can find it. I think I got it off the internet. So we'll start with the liquid ingredients first, and I'll move you down so that you can see what I'm up to here. There we go. Okay, so 2 eggs. 2 eggs and 1 3 cups of sugar. 1 1/3 cup, of sugar. cup, and a third. Mix it up nice. And then we need 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Three cups of zucchini. My zucchini was frozen. Still a little bit frozen, which is fine. I freeze my zucchini. I grate it up and I freeze it. The bigger ones, I always let some get really nice and big in the garden, and then I freeze them just for this. And then 3/4 cup of unsalted butter, melted. Still have a little bit of crunch in there. Okay, so that's your liquid stuff. Now, for your dry ingredients, we need 2 3/4 cups of flour, and 3/4 cups. I apologize for my chip. He's very wound up today, and I'm wondering if he's sensing the blizzard that's on the way, because it's not usually like him to be this way. He's usually a very nice, quiet little guy. 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and then 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, one teaspoon of ground ginger, and 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. Let's see, that's 1/2 teaspoon. And it doesn't call for it, but I add 1/2 teaspoon of cloves, ground cloves as well, because I like cloves. And it just gives it a really nice extra bit of a kick. the zucchini absorbs it very well. You can add walnuts if you want, a cup of walnuts or a cup of raisins. I can't eat either, so I don't add them. Once in a while I will put some in, you know, do a half a batch without and half with, just so that my husband or whoever else I'm serving this to can have walnuts or raisins, but I can't eat them, so that's out for me. Whoa, sorry about that. Okay, so now all you do is you mix the two together. You don't need a blender for this. You don't need a mix master or whatever you use. You just do it with a spoon. This recipe makes a generous dozen. By generous, I mean, you know, quite large muffins if you want to make large muffins, or you want to make them a little bit smaller, it makes a bit more. And then you bake them in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 25 minutes, I think. Yeah, 25 minutes or thereabout. And they are delicious. I usually always have some of these on hand. They're great. Company love them. We love them. And it has a nice vegetable in it, so they're not terribly, well, I mean, of course they're fattening, but isn't everything that you bake. Now, make sure I get them all mixed properly. And let me clear a space here. I just line my muffin tins with paper cups. I find it easier than greasing everything. And I just gotta get a different thing here. So my soup is doing really well. You can actually turn that soup into a vegetable beef soup, or you can put ground beef in it. You can put little cut up pieces of roast beef. If I had beets, I would be putting beets in there too, because they add another beautiful flavor to the soup, but I don't have any beets. You can add different vegetables. If you don't want cabbage, put potatoes in, or you can put potatoes in with the cabbage. You know, the base of the soup is a tomato-based soup, so you can put whatever type of vegetable that you want in it. I'm making mine fairly generous. Should have just enough for a dozen here. we had our lunch, that's gonna be messy. After we had our lunch, we went for a 40-minute walk. It's getting very cold outside. The wind is starting to pick up as it's supposed to. This is why it's going to be a blizzard, is because the north wind is going to be very, very strong. But it's starting to get cold. We walked for 40 minutes and we were very happy to get back home and get in the warm house because it's getting very chilly out, and it's starting to snow a little bit, although the bulk of the storm is not supposed to start till this evening. So if it's not too terribly nasty, I will try and record some of our spring blizzard for you. But if it's too bad, I'm not going out there. So I'm gonna pop these in the oven now for 25 minutes, and it's a mess. And we'll see when we take them out. The muffins turned out beautiful. They're still quite hot. I can't get them out yet, but they're great. So there's the zucchini muffins. And here's the soup. Lovely, lovely hot soup. Can't wait. And to go with it, I made myself some mint tea. Mint from my garden. Oh, such comfort food. Thanks for coming along with me today in my kitchen, and I'll talk to you real soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.